I just want to turn to Professor Bob Anderson, who is from the School of Communication, and he's going to try to pull some of the threads. We've asked him to listen carefully tonight, not just to the facts of the particular cases, but the feelings and the values too that he's heard, and help us bring some convergence to this very rich and complex conversation. So thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Joanna. It's an honor to be here with all of you tonight in this wonderful room, which we built 10 years ago. There's a river of words flowing through this space this evening. We are blessed with the arrival of people from Afghanistan today, from Palestine today, and of course, the people in this room have come from all over the world. This place here in Canada is, of course, not necessarily the first destination, not the first stop. Many people, as Julie has described, people carrying their suitcases and their stories on their heads and in their heads. Many people have moved from place to place, uncertain of whether they will be secure there, and in many cases they were not. And so they have moved and moved until they found themselves here in this room. Now, the map on the wall, which I want you to go and look at afterwards, and maybe we'll see whether we can make it a bit more accessible outside. We'll discuss that. The map on the wall has impressive, complex lines and coloring and allowing you to visualize the connections between these large events which have devastated and traumatized many countries and populations, for which we here in Vancouver are the unlucky but happy recipients of those populations. I want you to look at the way those lines of the large events correspond and resonate with the small space of the lives that each of us has. And that map helps us to do that. And I think it's a piece of genius, really. So the map and the stories that we've told tonight remind us that insecurity is a continuous evolving condition, and it evolves and reproduces itself. There was even a reference to the fact that the diaspora communities, their diaspora experiences, carry this insecurity with them, that sense of taking a generation or 2 generations or longer perhaps to transform that insecurity that they have carried with them, and that is built into them. So remember Julie Okotpitek's question, what are we carrying on this journey? We have the suitcases, we have the stories. As someone just said, the story is in fact the only instrument available, and it is going to be the legal Archimedean point on which people would want to and need to stand under Canadian law. And how many stops, not only how many stories, how many suitcases are coming, but how many stops are on the way? And why was the insecurity still not vanquished? And what is it that drew people further and further and to reach this room? Now, Min Garcia, who has come from Afghanistan, asked us, what are the motivations among the diaspora to mobilize? Someone asked, well, I think it was Kawa Jabari, spoke about going to talks, going to meetings, going to rallies to build a more peaceful culture from the ground up, to mobilize the communities. But of course, the question is, these motives or these motivations are for not self-sustaining. People can feel rejected, they can feel lonely, they can feel alienated, even from their own communities when they try to articulate what Rena Lazar asked us to do, which was to ask what are the possibilities? And most diaspora elders have seen a lot of the world and can answer that the possibilities are few, perhaps even almost zero. And so young activists, motivated, inspired to do things, are often do not feel encouraged or supported until they can learn to organize as well as mobilize. And I think Ritendra Damang showed us how the Nepalese, who have a long experience of this protracted conflict, which takes its forms in North America among Nepalese, who were divided over the role that the monarchy should play. I think that he's shown us that both Nepalese and the Bhutanese, the Nepali-speaking Bhutanese, who found themselves in the refugee camps of eastern Nepal and now are in Canada with us, have learned that the motivation to mobilize is important, but the skill to organize is supremely important. Now, I know you think, oh, Canadians, they just want to organize, you know, they want to organize everything, and I am pretty confident that people who are in diaspora communities who learn this skill of organization will succeed in the long run. I don't want to say any more than that, than to thank you very much, and to my dear colleagues, Shaheen Nanji and Joanna Ashworth, and to James Bosumpti Sam, and to our special guests tonight, and to my honored friends. I see people here whom I have not seen for a very long time, and it's very moving for me to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you, James and Joanna.
Thank you so much, Bob.